Hey, what's going on, guys? SargeantsTechTips. Now in today's video we're going to be taking apart a Mac Mini A1347. If you're also curious, the serial number is going to be C07 Mike King 56 Zulu DWYL. I'm not really sure why I did the phonetic alphabet for some of the letters, but that's the serial number. It'll be in the description as well. I'll also put a couple links to the iFixit form and the PowerBook Medic website that I use to determine these, so that way you guys can view the specs if you'd like to. I believe it's got like a Core i5. The RAM is going to be upgraded, but we're not going to be upgrading it in this video. We're only going to be installing this SSD because you have to actually take the whole motherboard tray out, which is kind of a pain, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. The RAM's super easy to upgrade. That's going to be upgraded later. So to do this, go ahead and flip it around. This part is quite hard. What you want to do is get something so you don't scratch her up. And then what you want to do is you just want to put two fingers on and twist. It can take a while, especially, yeah, just like that. And then what you can do is just smack it, and then that'll come off. You can put that off to the side, and then you got the inside of the machine. To take the motherboard out, you are going to have to take the heatsink out. I know it's a pain. Thankfully, the heatsink isn't that hard to take off, and this is a good time to replace the thermal compound if you haven't done so already. You just got to remove all the screws that are going to hold this in. That way you can slide it out, because the motherboard's going to be under the antenna. So to do so, you are going to need the correct bit. I'm not 100% sure what these bits are. These look like they're, it's like a octagon or something. I don't know. It's this bit. I've never used this bit, so I have zero clue. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments below. I've actually never seen this before, and I've taken a lot of these minis apart. I mean, I've just never really thought. And these are going to be Torx. Those I do know. Usually you just plop this up. There we go. There we go. And then you can see the drive is right here. So we do actually have to slide the motherboard out. Just be careful with this antenna cable because you don't want to break that. So now what you can do is you can go ahead and remove the heatsink. Well, it's not the heatsink, but it's the fan. So you know what I mean. Don't take this out. Let this kind of just dangle. That way it can do its thing. And then carefully pull out the heatsink, the fan, sorry, the CPU fan. And you can take the RAM out if you want, but you don't have to. I am actually going to remove that screw. It's going to be this slightly bigger size. Now the fun part is getting this unplugged. Just like that. You just got to be really careful with it. You don't want to break it. That way you don't lose wireless connection. Now basically, you're just going to slide the motherboard outward to where the I/O is. There's no screws on this side. Sometimes there is. So all you got to do is just kind of, like I said, you can replace the thermal paste while you're in here if you want. It's not required though. I don't think you can get the drive out without sliding the board out. I lied. It is very doable. You do not have to slide it out anymore. Some older Mac Minis, you actually had to slide the motherboard out. Can you still slide the motherboard? I guess not. Well, we're not going to replace the thermal compound because this thing doesn't get that hot anyway. We are going to replace the drive, though, which it looks like it's just... I honestly thought you had to drag that out or pull it out. That's how I've taken all the older Mac Minis apart. This is a newer one, I believe, so that could be why. So to get the drive out, or get the cage off, you just got to take off two screws, because this goes in like this, and then this cable connects to the motherboard. All you have to do is take the cover off very carefully. You don't need to put the cover back on when you put the drive in, but it's recommended, as it's probably there to, yeah, I just ruined it a little bit. Not a huge deal, though. You got to take this off regardless due to, let's see, it holds in the connector here, so you do have to take that off. Now what you want to do is just remove the connector very carefully. This looks to be like a 500 gig hard drive. It was getting really slow and old, so we're going to make this thing much faster with an SSD. And then I think it was up this way, so we're going to want to put this like this. These just hold in the drive, that way they don't, the drive doesn't fly out or something. Now most Mac Minis will support pretty much any SSD you throw at it. If you try to put an NVMe in there, it's not going to happen. You can get an adapter and it might work because it'll convert it to SATA, but I highly recommend just getting a 2.5-inch SSD because they're cheap these days. They cost basically nothing, and they do their job. Don't worry about the adhesive not staying down. It's not that big of a deal. Just make sure when you put the drive in, you slide it in. I probably should have showed you guys. I'm just doing my IT job. So you slide in the drive. Make sure it lines up with the holes the best you can. I know you can't really see them. Then push this in by pressing down, and then you just want to make sure it's in there, which it is not. So I got to figure out how to get. Trying to line these up are not easy. I do remember this now. Here, hold on. It works. All right, guys, the SSD is finally in. It took me a hot minute because it's not really easy to finagle it in there, but all we got to do is just reassemble it to the best of our ability. It still kind of baffles me. You don't have to rip this thing apart just to get the drive. Usually, with the older models at least, from the models that I messed with, you had to. I'm not really sure what this... I think this is a mounting screw. I don't think this is a screw that really needs to be removed. I think it's just to help the mounting mechanism do its thing. Push in at an angle, push down. Push in at an angle, push down. Now we want to put this in. Ah, that's why those screws go in so hard. The antenna holds in the adapter, or the SSD, which is actually kind of smart. Granted, it could have been built a different way. There we go. And we're just gonna shove the cable under it. Slide this down. It's not a bad idea the way they did it, but they could have done it a little bit better. They're just trying to work with the little space that they have. And seeming how we have 500 gigs of storage in this thing, it's not a bad trade-off. This screw back in, then I gotta find the other one. Alrighty, so that is how you, well, tear down a Mac Mini, the A1347 model, and the serial number C07MK56ZDWYL. This has a Core i5 in it, I believe. I think the A1347 models also do have the Core 2 Duo, so I would keep an eye out for those. Those are good little machines, just don't expect to do much on them. They're not amazing for everything. Slide it to lock, and boom, you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you guys did not enjoy the video, please drop a dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and you haven't done so already. And let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see for videos on things you want me to tear down for you guys so you guys can follow along, or just videos in general that, you know, relate to tech. Check my Discord out in the link in the description below. If you guys want to join that, you can check that out. I post sneak peeks and stuff if you're a member of the channel, which you can also do in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next video, and peace out.